Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to second PUC Accountancy online classes. In the previous class, we have discussed about the different, that is accounting treatment like goodwill treatment, preparation of revaluation account, all this, the procedure to be followed while solving a problem on admission of a partner. Now, let us recollect again so that we can solve 12 marks problem. I am moving on to solve 12 marks problem in today's class. So, first what we have to do is, when we receive a problem in the examination, first we have to prepare revaluation account. Revaluation account, or the other name for revaluation account is profit and loss adjustment account. Profit and loss adjustment account. Here we have to remember the formula which I told in my previous classes, that is increase in the value of assets and decrease in the value of liabilities should be entered on the credit side of revaluation account, because increase in the value of asset is a profit, decrease in the value of liabilities is also profit or gain to the business concern, to the partnership firm. So it should be entered on the credit side of revaluation account. Then decrease in the value of assets and increase in the value of liabilities. Decrease in the value of assets and increase in the value of liabilities should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account, left hand side of revaluation account. And we have to balance it. Then the final balance, the difference between the debit side and the credit side total, should be distributed among the old partners only in their old profit sharing ratio. And this is first step, that is preparation of revaluation account. Then second step is, we have to see whether there are any accumulated profits or losses appearing in the balance sheet or not. Anything appears on the asset side, we will call it as accumulated loss, should be transferred to the opposite side of, that is partners capital account. It is to the debit side of partners capital account. Then any profits or reserves, accumulated profits or reserves appearing on the liability side of the balance sheet should be transferred to credit side of partners capital account. That is what we have to do. Then we have to give entry for bringing assets or liabilities by the new partner. I mean, the cash brought in by the new partner, or that is a bank balance brought in by the new partner, or any other assets brought in by the new partner should be credited to new partner's capital account. Any liabilities brought in by the new partner should be debited to new partner's capital account. Then what we have to do is, next step is treatment of goodwill. We have to see which method is given. There are four methods we have already come across. First method, that is, we call it as premium method. First and second, premium method we call it as. The other two methods we call it as creation of goodwill in the books of the firm. So we have to see which method is given in the problem. If it is premium method, the cash brought in by the new partner towards goodwill should be distributed among the old partners, and it should be added to cash in the balance sheet. Then second method is, we will pass the same entries like method 1. Then additional information will be given, like goodwill is withdrawn by the old partners, or half of the goodwill is withdrawn by the old partners. Like that instruction will be there. So we have to pass one more entry, that is to cash on the debit side, to cash or bank on the debit side. That is the amount withdrawn by the old partners, which was credited as goodwill to their account. Then we have to create goodwill. If it is third method, we have to show it as an asset in the balance sheet. Goodwill will appear in the balance sheet. And last one is, we have to pass the same entry, that is goodwill should be created and should be written off. We have to give debit to all partners capital account in their new profit sharing ratio. So we have to remember in which ratio we have to debit or credit. That is very, very important in admission. So that is what we will do here. Then adjustment of capital, one more is there, last part, that we will come across while solving the problem. I will solve one or two problems on that, so that we will cover the entire admission of a partner. Now let me move on to the 12 marks problem. First problem, refer page number 34, page number 34 of your question bank. Page number 34, problem number 1. I will read out the problem, then in the meantime let us analyze and we will solve the problem. I told you there are 3 steps here. We have to prepare 3 accounts, not 3 accounts actually, 2 accounts and 1 statement. Balance sheet is not an account, it is a statement of assets and liabilities. So remember this, balance sheet is not an account, it is a statement of assets and liabilities. So there will not be debit and credit to balance sheet. So we have to prepare revaluation account, then we have to prepare combined capital accounts of partners, and then we have to prepare balance sheet. These are the 3 things we have to do while solving a problem on admission for 12 marks. Let me read out the problem. A and B are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1. 2:1. So their share will be 2/3 and 1/3. That is 2 plus 1 will be 3, will be the denominator, and 2 and 1 is their share. Their balance sheet as on 31st March 2018 was as follows. Balance sheet is given. Let us move on to the liability side first. Creditors, bills payable, reserve fund. Creditors, bills payable, normal liabilities, so there is no problem as such. Reserve fund, it is an accumulated fund. Remember, it is an accumulated fund. I already told you that should be transferred to the credit side of partners capital account. It is an accumulated reserve which should be transferred to the capital accounts of old partners only. Old partners only in their old profit sharing ratio, because new partner is admitting today, he is joining today, so he will not get any share in the reserve fund because it was accumulated before his admission. It is because of the efforts of old partners only. New partners admitting today, so the new partner will not get any share in this reserve fund, remember. Then there are capital balances given. That is the starting point, that is by balance brought down in capital accounts of the old partners. Then cash in hand on the asset side. Let us move on to the asset side. Cash in hand 5,000. So here we have to see whether there are any cash movements. If there is cash movement like cash given, then it should be deducted from this. If any cash is brought in, then it should be added to this, and final balance should be written in the new balance sheet after admission of new partner. Then stock is given, debtors, machinery, buildings, investments. Remember, while writing the new balance sheet, while redrafting the new balance sheet, you have to make sure that you will write the balance sheet in liquidity order. All the assets should be written in the liquidity order. What do you mean by liquidity order? The asset which can be easily convertible into cash should be written first. So it starts from cash in hand, then cash at bank, stock, debtors, investment, then maybe furniture, then comes machinery, buildings, land, least liquid, then intangible assets like goodwill, if it is there, then it will come. So in that order only you have to write the assets. Though in the problem investments are given at the end, but while solving the problem you should make sure that in your answer paper it should be in liquidity order. So remember this point very clearly, otherwise they may deduct 1 mark for not following the liquidity order principle. Then let us move on to the adjustment part. This is the balance sheet given. On 1st April 2018, that is on the next day of the balance sheet, C is admitted into partnership on the following conditions. First one is C should bring in rupees 25,000 as his capital. When C brings in capital in the form of cash, just see in the balance sheet whether it is cash in hand or cash at a bank. It is given as cash in hand, so all your entries should be cash entries, not bank entries. Remember. So whatever is given in the balance sheet, that you should follow. So here, as cash at bank is not there at all, you must pass all the cash entries and not bank entries. Don't write cash or bank. Don't write like that. Write cash account straight away. Be specific. So cash rupees 25,000. So when new partner brings in cash, the journal entry will be cash account entered to new partner's capital account. So on the credit side of partner's capital account, we should enter by cash. In the new partner's, that is column, we have to enter the amount, that is 25,000. Then and 15,000 goodwill for his 1/5 share in future profits. New ratio of the new partner is given. He has brought in cash towards goodwill. So this is premium method. Remember, premium method. Whether goodwill is withdrawn? No, nothing is mentioned. So this is the first method. This is the first method of treatment of goodwill. So you have to pass entries. That is, first entry will be cash account entered to goodwill account. Will not find a place in capital account. Remember, it will be entered in the goodwill account only. Goodwill account they didn't ask. If it is asked only, then you prepare other ledger accounts. Otherwise, don't prepare. It's waste of your time. If you prepare, makes no difference. If it is correct, then fine. If you go wrong while preparing additional accounts, which is not asked in the problem, if there is a mistake, they may deduct marks again. Remember. So be careful. Whatever is asked in the problem, stick on to that. Prepare that much only. If you solve extra, then fine. Makes no difference. But don't make mistakes in that. Be sure of it. So 15,000 goodwill for 1/5 share in future profit. So cash account entered to goodwill account. Second entry should be, I told you, whether it is mentioned in the problem or not, you must distribute the goodwill among the old partners in their sacrifice ratio. Sacrifice ratio. Here, sacrifice ratio is not given in the problem. Is it possible to calculate sacrifice ratio? It is possible, but no need of calculating the sacrifice ratio, because new profit sharing ratios of other partners are not given in the problem. If the new profit sharing ratios of all the partners are given in the problem, then old ratio minus new ratio is equal to sacrifice ratio. Very easy to calculate. We can calculate in that case. But here the new partner share is only given and sacrifice ratios are not given. New ratios of old partners are also not given. So we have to assume that the old partners, Mr. A and B, sacrificed in the same ratio as was before. Their old ratio was 2:1. So their sacrifice ratio also will be 2:1. So make sure, you just check in the problem whether new ratios of all the partners are given. If it is given, you must calculate sacrifice ratio, and in that ratio only the goodwill should be distributed. Cash brought in towards goodwill should be distributed among old partners. If it is not given, only new ratio of new partner is given. Take the old ratio itself as sacrifice ratio. But while writing below the entry, you should write sacrifice ratio and not old ratio. Remember, 2:1. So entry for that is goodwill account entered to old partners capital account. So on the credit side of partners capital account, by goodwill you will distribute among the old partners only, not new partner. Then that is the second entry. And remember, this 25,000 should be added to cash in the balance sheet, new balance sheet. So cash opening balance given in the problem 5,000, add cash brought in by the new partner towards capital 25,000, add cash brought in by the new partner towards goodwill. How much? 15,000, because that amount is not withdrawn by the old partners. It is still there in the business. It is credited to their account, but money is not drawn. So cash comes into the business, no movement outgoing, that is a outflow of cash. So it should be added together. So the cash balance will be 25,000 plus 5,000. So 30,000 plus 15,000, 45,000 will be the cash balance. Because there are no outflow of cash, only inflow is there. Remember. Then appreciate buildings at 20%. Appreciation means increase in the value of assets. You have studied in first PU under depreciation chapter. Appreciation, depreciation. So appreciation means increase in the value of the assets. So here buildings appreciated by 20%. Appreciated at 20%. So it is a profit to the business. Increase in the value of asset should be entered on the credit side of revaluation account. Remember, the amount that should be written is the increased value only, not the total value. What is the value of building? That is 60,000. 20% increase means what? 12,000 rupees increase. So the final value of the fresh value of the buildings now is 72,000. 72,000. But in revaluation account, you have to write only the increased part or decreased part. That's all. Not the entire value of the asset. Here building value increased is 12,000. So only 12,000 you should enter on the credit side of revaluation account. Then stock is revalued at rupees 12,000. Revalued at rupees 12,000 means this is the new value of the stock. This is the appreciated or depreciated value of the stock. Just see how much was the value of stock in the balance sheet? 15,000. Now the new value of stock is 12,000. What does that mean? There is decrease in the value of the stock. Stock is an asset. So decrease in the value of asset, I already told you, is a loss to the business, should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account. Debit side of revaluation account. Then again in the balance sheet, what you should do? Appreciation and building should be added to the buildings in the balance sheet. Then depreciation, decrease in the value of asset, that is a stock. Remember, stock we never say depreciation, we call it as decrease or increase in the value of stock. It is not a fixed asset. Remember, it is a current asset, stock. So we will say decrease in the value of stock. That should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account and should be deducted from stock in the new balance sheet. Stock inner column minus decrease, you will write the amount, and net amount should be entered in the outer column. Remember, in balance sheet you will write the final value of the asset. After adding or deducting the increase or decrease in the value of assets, the final value should be entered in the balance sheet. Then provision for doubtful debts maintained at 5% on debtors. Any provision created against any assets, remember, any provision created against any assets like debtors or stock or anything else, or bills receivable, that will decrease the value of the asset. Because in the balance sheet what we will do is we will enter, that is a debtors inner column less provision for doubtful debts, PDD, provision for doubtful debts, that will be deducted so that the asset value will decrease. Decrease in the value of asset, I told you, is a loss to the business, should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account. So we will enter on the debit side of revaluation account 5% on debtors, will calculate, and in the balance sheet again debtors inner column less provision for doubtful debts should be deducted. Yes. Then outstanding salary rupees 2,000. What do you mean by outstanding salary? Salary due but not paid. The employee has done the work, employee did the work, but salary is not paid. So it is our liability to pay. It is the liability of the firm to pay the salary to the worker or the employee, isn't it? So outstanding salary means salary which is due but not paid. The firm is supposed to pay that. So whenever the liability increases, increase in the value of liabilities, so it is a loss to the business. So it should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account, and this should be shown as a liability in the new balance sheet. liability in the new balance sheet. Before writing the capital balances, you have to write the liability, that is outstanding salaries, outstanding expenses. So that is how you have to solve this problem. Very simple. Let us solve the problem. Revaluation account. Let us start. Revaluation account. Ledger account it is. So draft columns. Revaluation account. Revaluation account. Draw the columns. So you can provide for JF column here, JF column, then here also credit side, JF column you have to draft, you have to draw. Here credit, it is a ledger account, so credit, here debit, and write column headings, very important, you must write the column headings, particulars, JF, amount in rupees. Most of students have the habit of writing amount, that's all. But you should write in how you measure the amount, that is in rupee terms, right? So here also again particulars, JF, amount in rupees. So if you forget to write rupees, then they may deduct 1 mark if your paper fetches 100. Remember. So cultivate this habit of writing rupees, debit, credit, all these things in the class itself, so that in examination you will not forget. So let us start. First, there is an increase in the value of, that is building, appreciate buildings, point number B. So I already told you should be entered on the credit side by buildings account. You should write by buildings account. Within bracket write appreciation. Appreciation. Write the amount, how much it is, 60,000, value of building was 60,000 into 20%. So calculate 6 2s are 12, so it will be 12,000. Write the amount in amount column. This is the amount increased in the value of buildings, is a profit to the firm. Now, next point is point C. There is one more is there under B. Stock is revalued at 12,000. There is decrease in the value of stock. So it is a loss to the business. Decrease in the value of asset to stock account. To stock account. Write the difference. 15,000. 15,000. Now the value is 12,000. So it will be 3,000. 3,000 is the loss, that is decrease in the value of asset. Then next one is refer point number C. Provision for doubtful debts maintained at 5% on debtors. Provision for doubtful debts maintained at 5% on debtors. So calculate, it is a loss to the business, again I told you already. So provision for doubtful debts account. Provision for doubtful debts account. Doubtful debts account. Calculate 5% on the value of debtors, that is 20,000 minus 5%. Show in the back bracket. Calculation you must show. 5% of 20,000, it comes to 1,000. 1,000. Right? Then next one is outstanding salary. I told you, salary due but not paid. It's a liability of the firm. So again is a loss to the firm. Should be entered on the debit side of revaluation account. Write outstanding salaries account. Outstanding salaries account. Salaries account. How much it is? 2,000. 2,000. That's all. Know the entries. Close the account. Find out the difference. See which side is greater. Roughly just see, credit side is greater, right? So write the total of credit side first, 12,000. So profit side is more and the total of loss is less. So there is a net profit on revaluation, right? So write the same total on the other side, 12,000 12,000. Find out the difference. It is 6,000. 6,000 right here. 6,000. This should be distributed among old partners in their old profit sharing ratio. Remember, old profit sharing ratio, and new partner will not get any share in this. So, to old partners capital, while writing here, if you write partners capital account, they may deduct 1 mark. You must write to old partners capital account. Old partners capital account. Old partners capital accounts. Now share it among them. Who are the partners? Old partners A and B, right? A and B. 6,000 into their old ratio. How much? 2:1, 2/3 and 1/3. So 6,000 into 2/3 and 6,000 into 1/3. It will be how much? 4,000 and 2,000. Yes, it is 4,000 and 2,000. 6,000. Right here, profit on revaluation. Within bracket, write it. Profit on revaluation. Revaluation. Balancing figure. Balancing figure. You will get almost 3 to 4 marks for this account. So one part is done. Revaluation account is done. So each partner A and B got, that is 4,000 and 2,000 on revaluation of assets and liabilities. Now next step, second step will be to prepare capital accounts of partners, combined capital accounts of partners. Let us prepare here combined capital accounts of partners. Capital accounts of partners. Accounts of partners. Draw the columns. You can turn the page and you can draft, because 3 columns each on either side for amount. So provide 3 columns here on the credit side, again 3 columns on the debit side. Yes, particulars. Then write the names of the partners in each column on the debit side and credit side. A, B and C. B and C within bracket rupees. Rupees, because we are writing the amounts in rupees. Here also particulars. A rupees, B rupees and C rupees. Yes. Now let us start entering by balance brought down. Opening balance you have to write first. By balance brought down. Refer old balance sheet. A and B capital balances are given as 60 and 40. 60,000 and 40,000. Write the same amount here. That's all. 60,000 and 40,000. No amount in C's column. Remember, C is a new partner, so there will not be any opening balance in the capital account of C. Then, what should be next entry? It should be refer the old balance sheet. Are there any accumulated reserves, profits, funds, or any other losses? Refer both sides, asset side and liability side. If you refer asset side, there are no losses. Only profit and loss account will be there. If it is there, should be entered on the debit side of capital accounts. That's all. If you refer liability side, there is a reserve fund is an accumulated reserve. Should be distributed among old partners in their old ratio. So give credit by reserve fund, by reserve fund account. Right here ratio 2:1 old ratio. old ratio. Can write like this, old ratio 2:1. Share it among them. How much is the amount? Amount is 12,000. So 2:1 means 8 and 4, correct? 8,000 and 4,000. Then next one will be refer revaluation account. There is a profit on revaluation. Entry will be revaluation account debtor to old partners capital account. Revaluation account debtor to old partners capital account. So old partners capital account gets credited by revaluation account. So on the credit side, ditto mark by revaluation account. Write the amount. Revaluation account profit. Write within bracket profit. How much it is? 4,000 and 2,000 only in old partners capital account, not in new partners capital account. Remember, that entry is done. Then what we have to do? We have to give entry for cash brought in by new partner towards capital. Cash account debtor to new partners capital account. So in new partners capital account, by cash account. By cash, don't write cash or bank. So be specific, very clearly given. Cash at bank is not there, so no need of writing bank. By cash account, capital. Within bracket, write capital introduced or capital only in new partners capital account, that is cash brought in by him towards capital. 25,000. 25,000. 25,000. Then what else? Goodwill brought in. 15,000 cash is brought in by the new partner towards goodwill. It should be distributed among the old partners in their which ratio? Sacrifice ratio. So whether sacrifice ratio can be calculated here? No. So old ratio itself is the sacrifice ratio, because new ratios of old partners are not given in the problem. So right here, journal entry will be cash account debtor to goodwill account when cash is brought in towards goodwill, and when it is distributed among old partners, goodwill account debtor to old partners capital account. Goodwill account debtor to old partners capital account. So old partners capital account is credited by goodwill account. Goodwill account. Right here, sacrifice ratio SR 2:1. Same ratio, but you have to write sacrifice ratio. So distribute it. How much it will be? 10,000 and 5,000 in the ratio of 2:1. So 15,000, it will be 10 and 5. No amount to new partner dash in new partners column. Are there any other entries to be made? No, it is done. So let us close the account and let us see how much is the total. Which side is greater? There are no entries on the debit side, so naturally credit side will be greater. Write the total of credit side. Write the total of credit side first and write the same total on the other side. Yes, 25,000 in C's column, only one entry is there. Then B's column, it will be 51,000 is the total. 51,000, and A's column, the total will be 82,000. 82,000, 51,000 and 25,000 respectively in A, B and C's column. So write the same total on the other side, on the debit side. 82,000, 51,000 and 25,000. 25,000. Done? Now, this is the amount carried down. To balance carried down. Carried down. Balancing figure. This is the difference, isn't it? So 82,000, then 51,000, 51,000 and 25,000. You should bring down this balance in the ledger account. Remember, For not bringing down this balance, they may deduct 1 mark. So, by balance brought down on the credit side, by balance brought down, write the same amount, the difference amount, 82,000, 51,000 and 25,000. 82,000, 51,000 and 25,000 in A, B and C's column respectively. So, don't draw lines again, be it blank. After writing this balance brought down, don't draw the line, let it be open. It is not total, it is the balance brought down. Remember, students have the habit of drawing one line again, so don't draw it. So this is about combined capital accounts, and let us move on to the last part, that is balance sheet. Yes, now let us prepare balance sheet. Balance sheet as on April 1st, 2018. Balance sheet as on April 1st, 2018, right here after C's admission. C's admission. Within bracket, after C's admission. Write the column headings, liabilities amount in rupees, assets amount in rupees. So go on writing. I told you follow the liquidity order. First cash. Let us take up asset side first. Cash, no cash, not cash account, it is cash. We are writing the asset, that's all. So cash, write within bracket, that is opening balance. How much was the opening balance? It was 5,000, I think. Yes, it is 5,000. Refer your problem. Balance sheet. Add any movement of cash. We didn't pay anything, right? But new partner has brought in capital. How much? 25,000. Add it. Add. New partner has brought in 15,000 towards goodwill. Add it. 15,000. That's all. No other movement of cash. So 5,000 plus 25,000 plus 15,000. So write the total. How much it will be? 45,000. This is the final balance of cash. Final balance of cash. Then next item is stock. There is change in the value. So inner column it was 15,000. Inner column 15,000 less decrease. Whenever new value is given, write the new value in the outer column first. So they told 12,000. Stock value is revalued at rupees 12,000. Write it in outer column. Now see whether it is increase or decrease. There is a decrease. So minus decrease. How much? See the difference. 3,000. Right here. That's all. Done. If they give 12,000 in the balance sheet as stock value, and in adjustment if they give 15,000, then write 12,000 here, write 15,000 in outer column, new value, then see whether there is increase or decrease. There is increase, so write here add increase, write 3,000, done. Otherwise you will get confused. Some students what they will do is they will get confused and they will write 15,000 and they will write here 12,000 and they will write 3,000 in outer column. Your solution is gone. So remember, you have to write the new value in outer column. Remember this formula, very simple. Then debtors, there is a change. Write the old value 20,000. Is there increase or decrease? There is a decrease because there is a provision to be created. Minus provision for doubtful debts. Doubtful debts. How much? It is 5%, I think. Yes, to be maintained at 5% on debtors. So show here 5%. How much? Doubtful debts at 5%, at the rate of 5%. So 1000 deducted, write the net amount in outer column, 19,000. And students have the habit of writing 20,000, they will write minus provision for doubtful debts at the rate of 5%, 1,000, and they will write here 21,000. Instead of deducting, they will add, and balance sheet will not agree, and they will struggle like anything. They will get watered, and the next problem, the effect will be on the other problem also. There also they will do some scribbling. So all these things will happen. So be careful, be cool, and follow the rules. Then investments given at the end, but I am taking it here as per the liquidity order. Investments, no change, write it as it is, 12,000 in outer column straight away. Then machinery, no change, write it as it is in outer column. Machinery, 30,000, 30,000. Buildings, there is a change. Buildings, there is a change. Old value was 60,000. There is an increase at the rate of 20%. So add appreciation at the rate of 20%. It will be 12,000. Add it together, 72,000. 72,000. That's all. No other assets. Goodwill will not come here. Remember, goodwill will appear only under third method. We are following first method now. First, second, and fourth method, goodwill will not appear in the balance sheet. Remember this much. Very simple. Then move on to liability side. Creditors, no change as it is. Creditors, how much? 20,000. Then bills payable, 10,000. Bills payable, 10,000. Yes. Then one more expense is there, outstanding salary. Outstanding salary, how much? 2,000 as it is, no change. That's all, no other things. Now see your combined capital account balance, write the same balance, capitals. Under that A, B and C, write their final balance which was brought down. That is 82,000, 51,000 and 25,000. That's all. Write the total in outer column, 1,58,000. Your balance sheet must agree. It must agree. Check whether it agrees or not. The total will be 1,90,000. 1,90,000. Yes, it is. On either side, it is 1,90,000. Your problem is solved. This is how you have to solve a problem in board exam whenever you get 12 marks problem on admission. So your assignment will be, write the steps to be followed. Write the steps to be followed while solving a problem on admission. Just write the steps, no need of explanation. Submit the assignment on time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.